Commanders fans got some good news on the Terry McLaurin contract negotiations today. We'll cover that at the top of today's edition of the Commanders Report. Then Bleacher Report says the Commanders should sign this edge rusher that is currently a free agent. And we'll finish up today's show with a new trade target at the edge rusher position that a new article says that the Commanders should go pursue. But before we get into the content today, give us a like. To start off today's video, we greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. You guys are the absolute best. And with that, let's get into our first topic of today, which is some good news for you guys here, where Ben Standig of The Athletic says that Commanders fans are getting a positive update here on the Terry McLaurin contract situation. This is what Standig had to give in his latest update. Unless Terry McLaurin's age, 30 in September, becomes an outsized factor, Tyreek Hill at 31 is the only receiver among the 15 highest paid older than the 2024 second team All-Pro in McLaurin. The eventual deal will likely fall somewhere between annual salaries for Tee Higgins at $28.75 million and DK Metcalf at $33 million per year. We keep hearing that Adam Peters and Coach Dan Quinn have now identified the desired player traits. If McLaurin, a proven locker room leader who is coming off a career-high 13 touchdowns, isn't the poster child, who is? Now, listen, guys, I've been saying on the show for a while, I'm not worried about the Terry McLaurin contract situation, even if he misses voluntary OTAs this week and next week, and even if he misses mandatory minicamp, and even if he sits in a little bit during training camp. The Commanders are not going to trade him, and they are not going to let him leave, all right? They are absolutely trying to win Super Bowls right now while Jaden Daniels is on his rookie contract, and Terry McLaurin is somebody that is extremely valuable to this offense as his number one weapon. So my expectation for what's going to end up being is that it's probably going to be somewhere above $30 million, probably somewhere between 30 and 33, what DK Metcalf ended up getting from the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I do think age does play a little bit of a factor in negotiations here, but I do think that's probably where the final number is going to be sitting. And then the question that should be on your mind right now, guys, is how long does he sit? Like, does he sit? Does he show up for OTAs? Does he show up for mandatory minicamp and avoid a fine? Does he show up for the start of training camp? Like, these are all potential storylines that could lead to some panic here in this fan base, but don't worry, guys. I'm here to tell you, eventually, one way, by hook or by crook, the Washington Commanders will get this deal done with Terry McLaurin at some point this offseason. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will Terry McLaurin be at minicamp this year? It's in 2 weeks from now, so let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Yes or no for today's pinned question. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, let me know if you think McLaurin will be there for mandatory minicamp. So let's move on to our second topic of the day here. Bleacher Report's Mo Moton suggests that the Commanders should sign Jadeveon Clowney as kind of the final piece to their roster heading into the 2025 season. Moton said last season Dante Fowler led Washington in sacks with 10.5. In free agency, he signed with his former team, the Cowboys. The Commanders have tried to shore up the defensive end position, signing Dietrich Wise and Jacob Martin. They can continue to stockpile veterans to bolster their pass rushing committee. At 32, Clowney can be productive in a rotational role. Last year, he recorded 46 tackles, 9 of them for a loss, 5.5 sacks, and 22 pressures while on the field for 64% of the defensive snaps for the Carolina Panthers. Now listen, when it comes to the Commanders pursuing Jadeveon Clowney, if they end up signing him, I think it would be a really good fit. If you're looking for that kind of Dante Fowler Jr. designated pass rusher type that can be an every down starter if you need him to be, I do think Clowney fits what the Washington Commanders are looking for. Now, is he going to replace Dante Fowler Jr.'s 10.5 sacks in this defense? I mean, who knows? I think that Clowney obviously still is a very athletic type of piece, and he's been productive over the last several seasons with various teams. But obviously, I do think that the ideal kind of catch for the Washington Commanders on the trade market is Trey Hendrickson. And, you know, there are a number of options currently on the free agency market right now for the Washington Commanders. There's still Von Miller, who can be a good designated pass rusher for you. Same thing with Zadarius Smith, who put up a decent amount of sacks last year for the Detroit Lions. Of course, Clowney, and then Matthew Judon. My philosophy on this, guys, is that as long as you have options and you have some legitimate good options to be potential designated pass rushers for you this year, why not wait the Trey Hendrickson situation out? Now, maybe if teams start scooping up some of these edge rushers, you might feel more inclined to make a move and sign one of these guys to a contract. But with option's still on the table. There's absolutely no reason why the Commanders need to rush this decision of adding an edge rusher this offseason. And hopefully by the end of the offseason here, Trey Hendrickson is wearing burgundy and gold. So coming up here, speaking of trade candidates at the edge rusher position, there's a new article suggesting the Commanders would be a fit for Saints defensive end Cam Jordan. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that here in just one moment. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Fanatics. If you guys don't have a Jaden Daniels jersey yet, what are you waiting for, man? This guy's going to be the next superstar quarterback of this franchise. He's probably going to be the next quarterback to win a Super Bowl for this franchise, at least knock on wood with that one. But you guys can go to chatsports.com/Daniels and pick up your Jaden Daniels number 5 Commanders jersey if you haven't gotten one already. Another added benefit to it, guys, is that if you use our link, chatsports.com/Daniels, and you make a purchase, Fanatics sends us here at the Commanders Report part of the proceeds. So not only does it help you out by getting a new Jaden Daniels jersey in your closet and in your collection, but also helps us out by kicking us a couple of extra bucks. So if you guys want to help us out and help yourself out, go to chatsports.com/Daniels and make a purchase for your new Jaden Daniels jersey today. Our final topic today comes from an article from Sports Illustrated, and Jeremy Brenner is a writer for them who covers the New Orleans Saints, and he suggests that the Washington Commanders are a fit to trade for Cam Jordan, the 36-year-old edge rusher for the New Orleans Saints. This is what Brenner had to say about potentially trading for Jordan. The Commanders are in need of a veteran pass rusher, and Jordan certainly fits the bill. Washington and New Orleans are no strangers to a trade after Marshawn Lattimore made his way to the nation's capital last year. If the Commanders are willing to part ways with 1 or 2 day 3 picks, investing in Jordan may not be a bad idea for the defense. Now, Cam Jordan's a big name. He's got a lot of sacks. He's done a lot of good things in this league, guys, but I am not interested in him whatsoever. He only had 4 sacks last year. He had less than that. I think it was 2.5 the year before. This guy's washed. He's 36 years old. I think at this point, he's more of just, a good locker room presence, decent run defender. He can get a sack every once in a while, but for a 36-year-old that's already on the decline, I don't know if I want to invest anything in this guy, even a 7th-round pick. And, even if it's anything more than a 7th-round pick in a potential trade here for Cam Jordan, guys, I wouldn't like it that much. Now, I understand why the Saints are trying to offload him. He's still got money on his contract. He's towards the twilight of his career. He probably wants to go play for some sort of contender. So I think the Commanders can absolutely make this trade happen if they want him on their roster. He's a good, leadership guy. It'd be a good locker room presence, but just in terms of what you need, which is pass rush upside, I just don't know if he brings enough juice to the table here. And honestly, I'd rather go in free agency and get a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, or Von Miller than trading a draft pick for Cam Jordan at this point. Another thing to keep in mind here, guys, is the Commanders don't have a lot of draft picks. So if you're going to trade for a guy, you got to make sure that player is going to be a big time impact, like a Trey Hendrickson, for example. I just don't know if Cam Jordan moves the needle enough where I'm willing to trade any of the 5 draft picks that I currently have at my disposal right now if I'm GM Adam Peters, even if it's a 7th-round pick. I just don't think that is something that I would be willing to do. And if I were the Commanders and I was looking for a Cam Jordan-esque type of older veteran edge rusher to be my designated pass rush type, I'd rather go in free agency and not give up a draft pick in order to do so. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section, what you guys think about the idea of trading for Cam Jordan. Do you think that this would be a good move to trade a 7th-round pick for Cam Jordan? Let me know down there in the comment section, A for accept or D for decline. Let me know your thoughts on the trade for Jordan down there in the comments section. That'll be it for today's edition of Commanders Rumors here by Chat Sports. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we got extensive Commanders OTAs coverage coming your way all throughout this week. If you don't want to miss any of that, click that subscribe button to never miss a video.